Alrighty then, I hope that camera holds up. I gotta stand it right there so I can look at my notes. I got a whole bunch of topics I want to go over right now, tie up some loose ends. And I am gonna start with, the other day, I saw a train, and I could see a train all the way, as far as I could see that way. As far as I could see this way, nothing but tanks. Nothing but tanks rolling westbound. I don't know where it was going, but it was heading west. Another thing, in that same area, but on a different day, clear blue sky, everything was fine, but there was this black, like rainbow looking thing, all the way across the sky, all the way across the sky. It wasn't dark, it was, it was, like say noon or something like that. It was just a very faint black streak all the way across the sky, kind of like a chemtrail that had been there for 6 hours. You could barely see it, but it was clearly a black streak across the sky. I don't know what it was. I'm just mentioning it for those who care about that kind of stuff. Find Face has been released, but unless the people you're looking for is on the Russian version of Facebook, you're not going to find it. What happened was these Russian hackers invented Find Face, which is better than any government facial recognition tool in existence, and immediately police departments all over the world started contacting these guys. And they must have made some kind of agreement not to release it in the United States. So Find Face only works on the Russian version of Facebook, but from what I understand, from the cursory research I did, I can't study everything in depth at the moment. Some things I do, some things I don't. But there are, what's the name? There are facial recognition sites that you can pay to go to. Did Tinker Bitch used to have a canine? Just asking. I don't know. I'm just asking. If she used to have a canine, a German Shepherd, the kind with a badge right here. Anyway, that's just a question. I don't know. I got no clue. Oh, the internet is supposed to go down here very soon, temporarily. Maybe this week, because something big's supposed to happen this week. Supposedly it's because of the Clinton video that came out, and they arrested the man that put that on the internet, who is a United Nations official. I can't remember what his capacity is, but he's a United Nations official. He is a known pedophile, which is a nice way of calling him a child molester. They're trying to legitimize it or something with these names like that, when the fact of the matter is he's a simple child molester. That's what it is. Child molester. It's like doctors talking Latin so that you don't have a clue what's going on. Only the other people in the know what they're talking about, and that's why they do that. Another thing. Well, let me mark that off. I did. Okay. Another thing. Supposedly there was an accidental release on. Let me get these bushes out of the way. There was an accidental release on electromagnetic attacks from the government from this fusion center in Washington State. I call bullshit, because those documents look more like they came straight out of a gang fag brochure. There's no testing data, there's no data analysis, there's just some brochures. Oh, look at this sophisticated way we do it. That's it. It looks more like a gang fag brochure, and I think we've seen this kind of shit before, circulating, that the gang fags have put out to intimidate the TIs and stuff. Anyway, so I call bullshit on that release. There will be no tutorial. This is why I haven't made a video in a long time. There will be no tutorial on how to get onto that supercomputer. I am just now getting my computer fixed back to normal. I got on there, and what I'm finding shitloads of information. And I'm trying to get a spider going so that this spider will search for me while I'm not online, and then when I get there, it'll spit out all this information that it found. Okay, well, somehow somebody froze my computer, got into it. I noticed a whole bunch of activity on my computer. I immediately disconnected it off the internet, immediately shut my computer down, and it would not come back up. So I've spent all this time getting my data off of there, because they didn't destroy it, thankfully, but getting my data off of there, and then I had to redo my entire computer. For those of you in the know about this type of stuff, you'll have to use a live CD with a proxy at minimum, Mac changer, VPN, whatever, but there's tons of data. Okay, next up, I told you I was going to tell you about them child molesters, the gang fags. Well, I'm not going to take this too far. It's like I'm learning too much and I can't handle it. But it seems that everybody knows that this guy named Larry M., 4 more letters in his name, who is a man in good standing, who wears one of them funny hats, kind of like a, I don't know, graduation hat, you know, with the tassel hanging down and shit. Anyway, if you acquire my drift, this guy keeps a bunch of children on his ranch. Enough people know about it that they went to the local police. Hooray for them. But nothing was done. Why? They're brothers. So they went to the local sheriff's department. They didn't know this, though. They went to the local sheriff's department, and nothing was done. Why? They're brothers, too. So they went to the FBI, which is like their last line of defense, and they spoke with Agent Carry Rifle, and nothing was done. So they wanted something done, because they were telling them about what was going on. All the limos pulling in to this ranch, staying for a couple hours and then leaving, that kind of stuff. And there wasn't a lot of children here. It was about 7, 8 children here. So they followed up with Agent Rifle of the FBI, saying, hey, what's being done? And Agent Rifle of the FBI said, oh, I took the information and I sent it to a profiler in Washington. So evidently, instead of kicking in the door, getting the children, taking them to safety, they'd rather find out who would do such a thing. Well, we know who would do such a thing. How about Hillary? How about Huma? How about the gang fags? But something was done. Some of these children were moved to Houston. And some of these children were moved to Dallas. And that's where I'm going to leave it. But I will say this. There are people that know where those kids are. And I suspect very quickly something's going to come of it. Speaking in that line right there, I told you Trump and Epstein have been like this much more than Clinton and Epstein have been like that. Well, guess what? For those of you who don't know, Trump is going after Epstein. Maybe Trump just hates these child molesters too. I thought he was in with them. I thought Trump was in with them, but he is going after them hard and heavy. And Epstein was the clincher for me. If he was going to let Epstein slide, I knew Trump was dirty. But he's going after Epstein. Epstein spent $29 million filling in all the tunnels underneath his estate there on Pedophile Island, Child Molester Island, excuse me. And he's now burnt the place to the ground. He's covered it up, and now even Google Maps has it blacked out of what he's done there. So I guess Trump is going after Epstein, which makes him all right in my book now, temporarily. This is the deadly wound. This is definitely the deadly wound. But don't get your hopes up, because what happens next after the deadly wound? What comes next? The deadly wound is healed. I'll get into that later. But the deadly wound is healed, and shit just goes downhill from there. So what does that mean, the deadly wound is healed? It means that the child molesters and all these idiots are going to be back in power running the show. I just say bring it on. Q's been talking about these children. They know where they're at. Not just these children, but I guess Epstein had tons of kids in his tunnels and stuff. And somebody took a screenshot in the security room of all the security cameras, and there were just kids everywhere on those cameras. And there was like one where they all just had t-shirts on and nothing else. There was a whole bunch of little kids on them screenshots. Okay, I got that one, I got that one. Let me go over here. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about they got court cases and that kind of shit. And they all seem to be going lone wolf all by themselves, and when it should be a class action. A class action would definitely expose these guys, especially if you can get some of these perps into court and get their phones subpoenaed. Have full forensics done on their phones, and if they all come back, they're clean phones, amazing. That is almost an admission of guilt right there. Because it's like, let's say you were beat at 6:05 in the police station, and when it gets to court, they've got all of the video before 6:05 and all of the video after 6:20, but from 6:05 to 6:20 they can't find the video. That's an admission of guilt right there almost. I mean, that is evidence of guilt. So anyway, the phones, the communication method is what is going to get these guys busted if you can get them into court. Get their phones into court and have full forensics done on them. And I don't mean by one of the gang fag infiltrators that's in the phone forensic business. You're going to have somebody like videotaping or something like that to make sure they're not deleting shit where they do the forensics at. But that's what can bring it all down right there. This technology, just like this technology, is what can bring them down. It's what is bringing Hillary down. Supposedly this video of her and Huma are going to be used in tribunals against them. And anyway, world-class bullshitter says that this video came off of Wiener's laptop. Well, that is not true. He's a world-class bullshitter. So that tells you right there. Oh, on this flat earth thing, guess what I found? If you trace back the roots of this flat earth horse shit, which is only for the new millennials and people with 4th grade math and science educations, you trace it back, even Wikipedia, places like that. This guy who went up and down the coast talking about this flat earth crap, you know where he came from? He came from the commune that I just spoke about, that Karl Marx and his wife was in. So he's out of that bunch too, trying to make his own name. And guess what? He only had a 4th grade education. And then what? He was made the head honcho for the Royal Astronomical Society or some shit like that. Are you kidding? This is how it works. This is how it works. Oh, that's like the Big Bang Theory. Do you know where the Big Bang Theory came from? The Big Bang Theory came from a guy named George Gamow. He was a science fiction writer long before Star Trek came along. He talked about this little thing in one of his science fiction novels, and people just jumped on it with everything they had and started promoting the Big Bang Theory, where nothing got together with nothing and exploded and created the universe. That's like somebody putting a whole bunch of dynamite into a wrecking yard, and when it explodes, a 747 pops out. Okay, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like I said, all this stuff is for 4th grade educated people. People who have no science, no math, whatever. In my opinion, and that's it. What I think they're going to be using this flat earth stuff for is promote it really heavy, far and wide, and then use it to cubbyhole people like they do with the smokers and, you know, that kind of stuff, and use it to define the compliant sheep with the thinkers. The people who don't go for the bullshit they're being told by ABC, NBC, CNN. You're either going to be the compliant sheep or you're going to be the thinkers, and they don't want the thinkers. That's what I'm thinking. It's just my opinion. I don't know shit, obviously. So, I talked about that. Yeah, the system going down. Q says the system is going to be going down temporarily because of some things that are going to happen. Supposedly, there's a whole bunch of shit supposed to happen this week. And I thought it was going to be because of the Hillary video. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just studying. I keep getting confirmation that things are exactly as that nobody was going to do anything while Obama was in office. Nobody was going to do anything if Hillary got elected. They were only going to do things if Trump got elected and did his part. Trump is doing his part, so other people are taking their steps. However, I recently found out this was not true. I was in error in my opinion. If Hillary got elected, I thought these people were going to bow down and nothing. No, it turns out they were going to act even swifter than they did if Hillary got elected. The last straw, I guess, was Hillary having JFK Jr. killed. That was the last straw for everybody. This is one of the things. But I can't say this out. But that's why the good son was killed prematurely. Because Dad's health was failing and they wanted him to see it. And that's why other things are happening like that too. Also, in my recommended for you videos, I'm seeing a whole lot of Masonic videos from Masonic members stating, I don't worship Lucifer. I want to make this clear to everybody. And all these videos have come out in the last couple of weeks. These are not videos that have been up for months, years, and that kind of stuff. These are all recent videos from Masons, and some high up Masons. I do not worship Lucifer, and I want to make this clear, and this, that, and the other thing. You just watch my videos that are coming up, and I'm going to explain it all. Because either they are lying to you, or they are being lied to. And I think it's a combination of many things. But I am going to go way back, because I know they are being lied to. But when I get into King James and Sir Francis Bacon, that should clear a few things up. Everybody keeps insisting this is the government doing this gang stalking shit. I promise you, this is not the government doing this shit. I'm trying to tell you who's doing this shit. I'm gonna get to why in my videos, which is why I want to put those up. How do I know this is not the government? Because these guys know nothing about me. How do I know they know nothing about me? Because they test things. They test things. They test things that it should be extremely clear I know about. I had to make sure it was still recording, because sometimes this thing will turn off. And I won't know it. Hey, come back here. Wow. Anyway. It'd take too long for me to explain one of the proofs that I have for myself, proof for me, that they know nothing about me. They know nothing about they test things that, anyway, it's not the government. The government would know. So either these people don't have access to the files, or they can't find anybody high enough to get into the files without setting off flags. Maybe I'll mention that in another video. There's a little rabbit. Right there on the edge. That's the freeway right up there. Where is he? There he is, right there. Anyway, see if I can get him to move so you guys can see him, because I can't see him now. There he is. Anyway, what the hell was I going to say right now? Whoa. I can't remember what I was going to say right now. My last thing. Buying my boots. I was in Chicago the other day. I'm running around town doing nothing, goofing off. I decided, it's time for me to buy some boots. Them boots that you saw in that helicopter video, speaking of that, I got another helicopter video. I can't put up the video, but I might be able to put up some screenshots. It is spooky. It is spooky. Just a screenshot, though, will be enough. And you, whoa, what is going on here? Anyway, those boots in that helicopter video are the worst shoes I've ever owned in my entire life. They were cheap, but they were, boots. So, anyway, They were the worst shoes I've ever owned in my entire life. I had to go buy some new ones. I ended up buying some nice Red Wings. Boy, I'm running around Chicago. It's a Sunday morning. Sunday morning. And I'm running around this area of Chicago. It's all run down, and the streets are vacant. There's nothing. There's nobody, no cars parked, all that kind of stuff. And there's nothing going on, you know, some people passing through, and that's it. Nobody's stopping, nobody's parking, there's nothing there. And there's this little boot store. And I stopped and I parked my car like this across the street in a parking lot facing the front door of the boot store. And there's nobody anywhere. Nobody anywhere. And I walk in, and the lady said, oh my gosh. The lady says, can I help you? And I said, yeah. I want some boots. I want some good boots. And she started showing me around and everything. And I told her, watch, you're going to have a whole bunch of people come in right now, and they're not going to buy nothing. And she looked at me like, are you stupid? This is Sunday. So I start, you know, trying boots on and everything. I got me some Red Wings. And anyway, people started coming in. People started coming in. And of course nobody was buying anything. And she looked over at me like, you know, how did you know? Oh my gosh, I just love it. But I got them all on camera and all that kind of stuff anyway. So it's funny. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's about it for this video right there. Now I can get back, after I tied up these loose ends, now I can get back to, let me make sure I got everything on my list. Yep. Yeah. Oh! Just a little, let me make sure this thing's still going, yep. Just a little update on the gang fag activity, because it's not important. Anything these guys does is not important. But this is all since my last group of videos. Maybe you can figure out what's going on. It's a mystery to me. I just can't figure out what's going on. But when I tell you about all this stuff, maybe you'll be able to figure it out. But all of a sudden, everywhere I go, I got a tailgater. And I am not talking about a block back, 2 blocks back. I am talking about right on my ass. Somebody is right on my ass all day long. Then after a while, he'll take an exit, somebody will move right up and tailgate the shit out of me again. Doesn't bother me a bit. Oh, I get tailgated a lot by big trucks. And what happened the other day is I decided I'm tired of this big truck tailgating me. And so I started slowing down. And I figured, you know, how slow will you go? So I started slowing down. He finally come around me. Boom. There must have been, oh, there was a shitload of gang fags behind him. And I slowed down and let those guys go by too. Every single last one of them. They've pretty much doubled up on everything they do. Let's say you're going from Memphis to Lexington. You're going from Memphis to Lexington, but you decide to take a left turn and go over here for some reason. What happens is whenever you make that turn, whenever you transition to a different freeway, you come up to a freeway that splits up and that kind of stuff, there will always be 2 guys who shoot right past you, right after you turn off. You turn off, let's say you're going up here, you make a left turn, you take an exit and start driving into town, which is 5 miles away. There will always be 2 cars that shoot past you like they're racing each other, and they'll zoom up out of view. What they're doing is they're looking to see what's up there, and then later they're going to hide and come back